What up everybody, Chris here, and today I'm going to talk about how spirituality affects your material success. Now I know this is a controversial topic and probably something that I'm going to say in this video will challenge something that you believe. So what I would ask of you is that you put aside your preconceived notions, put aside your current beliefs for a moment and just listen to what I have to say and try to analyze it purely on its own merits rather than filtering it through whatever belief systems you're already carrying with you. You know, all of us believe a lot of things about the world, and a lot of those things we don't even know why we believe them. We have these beliefs in our head, but we don't know how they got there. Sometimes they filtered to us through society. Sometimes we were taught in school, sometimes we were taught by our parents, sometimes we were taught in church, sometimes we were taught by our friends, sometimes we were taught on the internet, right? And we have all these millions and millions of beliefs that mostly are not well validated. And what I mean by that is that there are so many different disagreements you could have in the world. There's so many variable views on different topics. There are so many different possibilities of things that you could believe that you just do not have time in a single lifetime to be able to really give them very much analysis. So I'll give you an example. Most of us probably believe that the world is round, right? But if somebody who believed that the earth is flat came up and told you the earth is flat, I believe the earth is flat, and you're wrong that the earth is round, how well would you be able to defend your position? If you're like most people, the answer is not very well at all, right? You are 100% convinced that the earth is round, but you don't really have a lot of evidence for that, except that everybody around you says that, school says that. You've been told that a lot, and because you've been told it so much, you believe that it's true. And by the way, I'm not disputing that the earth is round. I believe that too. I'm just saying that if somebody were to challenge me on that, I wouldn't really be able to defend my position very well. And that's okay, right? Most things in life that we believe because somebody else believes. We believe we were taught, etc., and we never bothered to question it. And that's okay because you just don't have enough time in your life to question everything. That's fine. I'll give you another example. I believe that when I deposit money into the bank, that the bank isn't just going to take my money and run off to another country and then I'll never see my money again, right? I believe that the bank will return my money when I ask it to. But if I'm honest, I have to admit that I never really did any research on this bank. I don't know this bank is trustworthy. It's just everybody else trusts the bank. They have a bunch of branches. They seem to be reputable, right? So I trust them. It's not a very well-founded decision, but most of our decisions are like that in life. You buy something at the store, you believe that it works. Or somebody pays you in cash, you believe that that money is legitimate. You don't believe it's counterfeit. Our life is absolutely chock full of unfounded beliefs, and those beliefs affect everything that we do. So if you can recognize that most of your beliefs are based on limited evidence, probably most of the things that you believe you haven't really researched very well. That's totally normal. I'm just asking you to recognize that so that you don't automatically reject things that disagree with your beliefs. If you have a belief that is not well validated, it's not well researched, recognize that it's not a very solid belief and be willing to accept that maybe that belief is wrong. Okay, now with that little disclaimer out of the way, I want to talk about how spirituality affects your success in life. Now, from what I've noticed in my research is that people who have been successful, people who have made a lot of money, usually believe things about spirituality that are a little out of the ordinary, that most people don't believe. And that makes sense on its face, right? Because these are people who have achieved results in life that are far out of the ordinary, so it makes sense that their belief systems are out of the ordinary. I've talked about in a previous video, middle-class people love to be skeptical. Middle-class people love to feel superior to other people because they're sensible and they don't fall for silly superstition and they don't believe in woo-woo. Probably if you've been around middle-class people a lot, like I have, like I was raised, then you hear that a lot. But rich people, generally speaking, don't believe that. A lot of people, especially in the middle class, love to congratulate themselves about how rational they are. But they never really bother to ask themselves the question, is this rational behavior improving my life? In most cases, the answer is no, which begs the question, was it really ever rational to begin with? Now, our beliefs, as I said before, are not really very well founded most of the time. Most of the time, we've never really put in a whole lot of research into what we believe, but our beliefs have an enormous impact on what we do and how we behave and how we feel. And all of these things have an enormous impact on our results in life. All of these things determine our results in life. And so if you want to be successful, it makes sense to switch your focus a little bit. Most people think in terms of, is this true or is it false? A better mindset is to think in terms of, is this belief helpful or unhelpful? What you believe about spirituality or what you don't believe about spirituality affects everything else because that is foundational. Why are you here? Why do you exist? Why were you put on the earth? What are your capabilities? What were you created to be able to do? For what purpose were you created? These questions will determine what you can do in life, and they will determine what you believe you can do, what you believe are your capabilities and your limitations. And you're never going to be able to do something that you believe that you can't. And there are many things that you can do as soon as you let yourself believe that it's possible. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, if you're finding it helpful or thought-provoking or entertaining, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the little bell icon beside the subscribe button so you can be the first to get all the new content that I put out. Also, if you think that this is something that someone else in your life should hear, then please go ahead and share it as well. Oh, here's a question to consider. Whatever you're doing in your life, are you doing it because you believe that's your unique purpose and you were put on this earth to do that, and doing that is going to lead to ultimate fulfillment and perhaps reward in a later life? Or are you doing it simply for your own pleasure, and in a few decades you're just going to wither away and die and it will be meaningless? Which of those is most compelling? Which of those drives you to put in the hours, to take the risk, to do the things that is necessary to do in order to be successful? Now, I'm not saying that you can't be successful doing things that are not part of your ultimate purpose. People make a lot of money selling cigarettes or selling crack cocaine, killing people and ruining people's lives. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying you're much more likely to be successful if you're doing something that's fulfilling, something that makes you feel good, something that you believe is part of your ultimate purpose in life, if, of course, you believe that there is some purpose for life. Here's another question for you. Where do your ideas come from? Say you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you had a great idea. Where did that come from? The truth is, nobody really knows 100%. That's not something scientists have proven, that when you have an idea, when you have an inspiration, nobody can pinpoint where that comes from. And yet, that is one of the single most important factors in our success. Everything we do relies on inspiration. Everything we do relies on us having ideas. Yet we don't know where those ideas come from. Having ideas is absolutely critical to a lot of different activities in life, especially those activities that are the highest paid. If you're an entrepreneur, for example, your business depends on having ideas for what product to offer, how to sell that product, how to present that product, how to package it, how to describe your product, etc. If you're creating content, such as recording YouTube videos, like what I'm doing right now, I commit myself to creating 2 videos per week. So that means I have to have 2 good ideas, at least, per week on demand. And not just 2 ideas, because I have to come up with a topic, and then I have to be able to talk about that topic for 10 to 20 minutes usually. So that's 10 to 20 minutes worth of ideas. Or if you're a musician, you really understand this, because musicians can pick up an instrument and play some beautiful melody that they've never heard before, that they've never played before, completely with a blank mind. That's called improvisation. And it's incredible because it's completely thoughtless. You are creating something new. You are creating something out of nothing with 0 of your own thought. Now, given how important it is to have inspiration, wouldn't it make sense to figure out some workable mental model about why you have inspiration and how you can attract more of that inspiration in the future, wouldn't that be useful to you? Of course it would. But you can't rely on science, right? Because science just doesn't have the answer. Science doesn't know where inspiration comes from. Western culture is completely obsessed with science. Middle-class people love to pat themselves on the back about how they believe in science. But the truth of the matter is that science is slow. Science is the slow route to the truth. In just about every field of human knowledge that exists, people figure out something works long before they ever figure out why it works. And if you have to sit around and wait for the explanation of why, which is what science describes, then you're going to be left behind in the dust. So why do we have ideas? Why do we have inspirations? Well, I don't know the answer to that in any scientific manner, but I can say that a lot of successful people believe that inspiration is coming from some higher intelligence outside of them. It comes from some higher intelligence outside of them who knows these answers and is willing to whisper in their ear every now and again. One of the best ways that I've found to find inspiration is simply to ask. I just state in my mind what it is that I want, whether it's a marketing plan or a video topic or a product idea, whatever it is. I put it in my mind, and then I just stay quiet. I stay silent. I stop thinking. I turn off my analyzer. That is the part of my brain that critically analyzes things. And I just sit in silence and wait for the answer. And the answer has always come. Where it comes from exactly, I can't say for sure. The explanation that it's coming from higher spirits around me who are giving me their ideas in such a way that I fulfill the purpose that I was created to fulfill in this life seems to fit the given evidence pretty well. So that's what I believe. Now, whether that is absolutely true or not, I don't know. But I'm much less interested in my belief being right, being absolutely true, than I am in my belief being helpful. And my belief has proven itself to be helpful, so it's a belief that I keep. Now, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you guys watching have had some experience in your life that you couldn't rationally explain, something that happened to you that you don't know why or how it happened, but you wish that you could make it happen again. Some fortuitous occurrence that seemed to defy all common sense, which is really just an accumulation of our preconceived notions, which, as we said before, are based on very flimsy evidence. So if you've ever had an experience like that, go ahead and write in the comments what happened to you that you can't really reconcile with the beliefs that have been installed into your head. If you enjoyed this video, if you thought it was thought-provoking, then I encourage you to check out this video all about how your beliefs and your doubts will determine your results in life.